Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just quickly, I am Sergeant Brooke Russell from the Commissioner's Office, looking after the police contingent for the funeral today. At the conclusion of the service, we are going to conduct a roadside guard and a marching escort to march Harris off. So I invite you all, when the service ends, if you move to the grass area directly behind this small building here, you'll be able to pay respects and witness the march off from Harris. Thank you.
I think starting is pretty good for time. I don't really
Yeah, that'll be good. She'll either up and get it up.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring them up.
and bring her news that she's getting older. And I wish that you met her. The things that you learned from me, I got them all from you. If I just stay a while and we'll put all the world to rights. The little ones will grow and I'll still drink your favorite wine. And soon they're going to close, but I'll see you another day. So much has changed since you've been away. I wish that heaven had visiting hours, so I could just swing by and ask your advice. What would you do in my situation? I haven't a clue how I'd even raise them. What would you do? 'Cause you always do what's right. We just took a while until my worries disappeared. I'll tell you that I'm scared of turning out a failure. You'd say, remember that the answer's in the love that we create. So much has changed since you've been that heaven had visiting hours, and I would ask them if I could take you home. But I know what they'd say, that it's for the best. So I will live life the way you taught me and make it on my own. I will close the door, my heart, and everyone I love will know exactly who you are. 'Cause this is not goodbye, it is just till we meet again. So much has changed since you've been away.
Good morning, family and friends. My name is Helen McLean, an authorised celibate, and we also join together today with family and friends that are joining us via our live stream video. Today, we gather in the saddest of circumstances. There's no getting around the fact that this should not be a day like this. Harry, at just 25 years, taken far too soon, and his loss has left hearts shattered, lives changed forever. For Harry's family, the pain is immense. For his loved ones, the sense of disbelief hangs heavy. And for Lucy, the love of his young life, words simply fall apart. Their future was being shaped, their plans just beginning, and this sudden tragedy unfolded. Harry was a young man with strong role models and clear values. Coming from a family with a proud service in the police force, he knew from an early age what he wanted to become. But Harry didn't take shortcuts. He did the hard yards, completing his plumbing apprenticeship, building life experiences, and waiting until the timing was just right. When he entered the police academy, he did so with purpose and determination. Becoming a police officer wasn't just a job for Harry, it was his dream fulfilled. He loved the job, the camaraderie, and the sense of belonging. that came with wearing the uniform. His colleagues were not just workmates, they were true friends, people he respected and stood beside him with pride. Away from the job, Harry was a country boy through and through. He loved the outdoors, camping, fishing, motorbikes, and everything that felt like freedom. If it involved fresh air and good company and a bit of fun, Harry was in. As he was probably saying to himself right now, it was BCF and fun. And about 4 years ago, Harry was well and truly stuck by Cupid's arrow. And he didn't look back. Lucy became his world. They shared so much in common, supported one another with their work ethics, laughed together, and were making plans for their future they believed in. Harry was a likeable larrikin. He loved all kinds of music, was very social. He stayed closely connected with family and friends and work colleagues. So today we come together to honour Harry, to acknowledge the depth of his loss, to share memories and to hold one another through this grief. To now begin our celebration service, I'd like you to welcome Dave Honeysett, who will share part of the first chapters of Harry's life journey.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for travelling and zooming in to say farewell to Harry. Please forgive me if I take a little bit longer than planned as I take you through just a small part of Harry's journey and acknowledge the people whose lives were forever blessed for having Harry with them. I'll be speaking on behalf of Harry's family, his father Stephen and his mum Jenny. Harry John Landgraf was born at Dubbo Base Hospital on the 19th of October 2000. His proud parents of Jenny and Stephen Landgraf. Christened in Wellington, godfather Paul Willock, godmothers Auntie Mandy and Auntie Sally. Harry grew up in Dubbo with his family and friends. I was blessed to become Harry's stepdad. Both Harry's mum and dad remarried early in Harry's life, and I was blessed to become Harry's stepdad. Renae, sadly now deceased, is Harry's stepmum, and Stephen's now partnered with Karen. Harry attended Mags and then St John's and finally South Dubbo campus, all in Dubbo, leaving school at the age of 16 to begin his plumber's apprenticeship. He soon moved to Newcastle and by the age of 20 had purchased his first house. Before we knew it, he was applying to the police force, found the love of his life, Lucy, and headed to Mildura/Darton to begin his new career. Finally, Harry and Lucy relocated to Manila at the station house, late 25. Harry had a way to brighten your day and your heart. He always had an offhand comment, mostly PG rated, would delve into serious discussions about politics and then rebound at a moment's notice with some offhand comment that completely brought you back with laughter and a smile on your face. He always had a quick comeback if you gave him an opening, and of course he was the first to jump in and help anyone out if he could see they needed a hand with a task or just a shoulder to lean on. His smile and spirit were infectious. How could you stay mad at him with that cheeky grin? He was fully charged with energy and life. One day on the job with the police, the next day eating dinner with Lucy in a seafood restaurant on the coast somewhere, and the next day he was out in the far west pig hunting with his mates. Absolutely squeezing every opportunity out of life and sharing it with us all. Growing up, Harry was a beautiful, mischievous and loving little man. Always kept busy with his partners in crime, his cousins and siblings, and in particular, his big brother Connor. From the time he was able to hit school, we knew that what was in store for his teachers. And as a precaution, Jen and I always connected well with his teachers, so when the notes came home about his mischievous ways, it wasn't coming from a stranger. Some of his teachers we still keep in touch with today, as we all survived the H strain during school and have a kindred spirit. He was quirky and at times stubborn, a definite dreamer, absolute dreamer. He had a wicked sense of humour, and at times I felt he was possessed by the little devil that sits in your shoulder and says, "Go on, do it, no one will notice." I recall the time when we went to a local pizzeria, and as you walked in the door, immediately on your right was this big meat slicer, huge, bright red, and had bollards around it with rope, with the big signs in bold writing saying, "Do not touch." Jen and I had arrived there a little bit earlier. H came in with his grandparents, and I just happened to glance up at the moment as he was like lightning heading towards this super sharp blade with his hand stretched out, eyes glazed, locked in. And it was about the third time I yelled out Harris in the restaurant to get his attention that the trance finally broke, and he just sort of looked at me and said, what's wrong? That was Harris all over. Never saw the danger in it, but loved the adventure. Harry never seemed lost for words, although there was one time when at Declan's Bucks party we're at Fraser Island during 40-degree heat, and that was at night. 100% humidity, and because there was no mains power at Fraser Island, we could just lay there and suffer in the heat under the fans. And about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd sort of say, "Are you okay, H?" And I'd hear this little whimper coming from the side of the room. So I do realise there was a way that you could actually slow the Duracell bunny down a little bit, but the conditions were quite extreme and a bit smelly with 15 blokes in a non-air conditioned house. But during the torture, we shared a journey as father and son, and our bond only strengthened. He was once texting me to saying he was the new assigned chef in the kitchen, standing beside Uncle Jared and I, but in Harry's own way, he wasn't just referring to just cooking. He considered himself quite correctly somewhat of a cook, and this was his way to a lady's heart, and I'm sure Lucy would agree. We all love getting the quick FaceTime or text, "How do I cook this? How do you get it medium rare? How do you make these mashed potatoes?" The guy was just an amazing cook, and he just loved sharing. I'd like to talk briefly about Harry's friends. Harry loved us all in his own unique way. Everyone in Harry's life had the full H experience. This fella could really network. And if you're on the H train social media express, well, hold on. So many people have shared H's texts, Snapchats, messages, a call, or he just arrived on your doorstep for a yarn. Roll up his sleeves, give a hand, gossip like an old lady with her girlfriends, and I'm referring to all you blokes from the other night, or pick you up and head out for pigging or golf or whatever your next adventure would hold. You may feel like you had a special relationship with Harry as a friend, family member, aunt, uncle, cousin or workmate. You could ask yourself, how could anyone understand the bond that you had with H? Well, I can tell you no one could understand. Harry treated everyone with a unique bond. Once you were in, you were in. Harry's friends are the best of people. During our time in Sydney with Harry, these young men and women rallied around us and gave us the comfort we needed and the support. We could see why they were so important to Harry and why he loved them and spent every opportunity he could with them. Love, laughter and memory and lots of tears have been shared over the last month as we talk about our journey with Harry. The impact he has had on family and friends in just 25 short years cannot be described. It has to be experienced. When we sit and talk about Harry with his friends, we know his legacy will live on in the years to come. I would even lay a bet to say that there will be the odd Harriet or Harry as a namesake among his friends. To these amazing, beautiful young people who have supported Harry's family, especially our beautiful Lucy, please accept our enormous love and gratitude. On to his career. Harry loved being a plumber. He was so excited when he became an apprentice. We were all so relieved he was going to give his teachers a break. Again, Harry made many friends on his journey to becoming a full-trade plumber. It taught him responsibility and fast-tracked him into adulthood. He again made a great circle of friends through his 2 employers at the time, and I'm sure at some stage everyone in the room has had something fixed or repaired or replaced by Harry as a plumber. His life in the police force. There was a time when Harry was up to no good. Oh, this is the story I was telling you about. There was a time when Harry was up to no good with people who had misled him, as his mother would claim, The police were involved, but it was just a minor mischief, nothing serious, and I jokingly commented to Jen on the way back from school that day, words to the effect, "Well, babe, I don't doubt that'll be the last time the lad will be involved with the police." I love being right, but not quite what I was thinking. After Harry joined the police, there was a time I innocently asked him was he able to check up on a bloke in our street if he had a licence. A bit of a dirt bag. Harry knew him, and he understood why I asked, but without even missing a heartbeat. He went from his usual jovial, cheeky self to one who had just clocked on work for 30 seconds. He intervened me and asked and advised me about the rules about seeking personal information on an unofficial basis and the risks around such behaviour towards privacy, etc., etc., etc. And then bing, bang, boom, he was back from the official response and yarning about something else, no doubt golf or cooking or something like that. But yeah, it was like he was in a trance for 30 seconds and then he was back again. He didn't even charge me for it. It was at that time I could see how much he loved his job and respected the family he worked with. I was so proud that he didn't compromise his integrity, not even for me, the vault of many of his private discussions and what seemed to be his full-time advisory board. On behalf of Harry's family and friends, I want to thank Harry's police family from Derton and Manila. A special thanks to Lisa from Police Legacy, Senior Constable Brenton Long, who's been an amazing support, Detective Inspector Carl Middleton and Superintendent Dave Cooper, who've also been fantastic to us. Thank you to all the police who have arrived today and shown their support. It's been amazing support and strength to us in recent months, and you guided and looked after our boy through his short but very effective and proud career. Thank you. On to his family. Growing up, Harry lived in a blended family, and it taught him the value of relationships, that different relationships require tolerance, understanding, sharing and forgiveness. He carried these qualities into his adulthood. Harry was welcomed and treated as one of many grandchildren to Terry and Gay Honeysett, and adored grandparents of Vic and Sandra Devonish, and grandparents also to Sandra, Neil and Barbara and Robert. At home, he was the younger brother to Con, Tom and Sarah, and the big brother to Jimmy. He mostly listened to other siblings' advice and guidance, and he offered support and care to his younger sibling. Jimmy especially gained so much from his big brother's love and values. An all-round great brother. 5 beautiful siblings bound for life. We all mourn with you. Harry is also the big brother to Ethan and Mackenzie, who I know will cherish their time with Has. While I can't speak to Ethan and Mackenzie's time together growing up in their blended family, I can say that Harry was an integral part of their big and beautiful caring family as well. Ethan and Mackenzie, Harry's brothers and sister are always here for you should you need them, as are we all. He loved his family dearly. His brothers and sisters were a large part of who Harry really was. He shared a deep, close bond with his brother Connor, who was with Harry through their time living in a blended family. Week about since Harry was 2.5, Connor and Harris like glue growing up through this time. A bond born from both adversity and love. A bond that never wavered, and when they grew from boys to young men, that bond only grew stronger. More like the strongest of friends and brothers. Daily chats, messages, videos, relationships, advice, and then Harry became godfather to Con and Tristan's 2 beautiful children, Carter and Hudson. An honour and a privilege for all involved. Harry's adopted family and parents, brothers, the Brebners, have always been there to support Harry and have 1,000 different stories to share. We can't thank you enough for the support you have given us over the past month or so. Harry would be so grateful and proud of you. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on some of Stephen's stories about Harris. He writes, "What can I say about Harris? I can say absolutely everything. He was the exact person all of us strive to be, but few become. Caring, loyal, and a master of good time, he could turn the most mundane job, boring job, into the best time of your life. He was someone you always looked forward to seeing, especially when there was work to be done, or just say hello, always making me smile." Stephen recalls there was a time when he and Karen were unloading a trailer full of river rocks, and it seemed like a pretty mountainous task. 5 minutes in, they realised they'd bitten off a fair bit, and without notice, Harry pops up, eyes smiling, shovel in hand, took over. Stephen says Harry shovelled 10 to their 1. and before you know it, the job was done. Nothing was too big of a job for him. In 20 minutes, it was all over. As a young boy, he became a self-taught Michelin chef at home, helping to cook and process baby food for his sister Mackenzie, adding extra flavours or textures to his delight, as he was, of course, the official taste tester. He was the one, when I ran out of ideas for, I would say, "Harold, cook dinner tonight, whatever you want." And with glee, he would go right ahead and up his craft with flair and dedication, working it out as he went about. It generally always had a large salad component, lovingly cut up to perfection, but Harris would always eat the rest of the bowl, no matter how much was left, picking up the bowl and drinking the dressing left behind. I think everyone's experienced that. He loved a good salad. I recall him asking if I liked the salad he had just served, to which I indicated I had. Harris informed me that he used a secret ingredient, some of the juice from the olive jar. He was a damn good bloke. Going to Queensland for holidays, we saw a bloke selling mangoes for $10 a bag. By the time Harris had finished, he'd walked out with 3 bags of mangoes for the same $10 and hot tips on fishing areas. He was always making us laugh, lovable and likeable and genuine. There'd be so many great stories and memories that we could fill a book, and it'd be a definite bestseller. He loved his partner Lucy, his family and his dogs, and his big brother Connor most of all. Together it was one fun time after the next, with Harris always saying, "Come on, Con, it'll be fun." He was the fun in our lives. Harris would do all the things that we wanted to do with confidence and cheek. Harris would do all those things we would want to do with confidence and cheek and were afraid of. From running across roofs while under construction, to racing New Guinea natives and laughing at them along the Kokoda track with the police legacy, to being on the Murray River with his mate Kyle's new boat and having no idea how to start it, having to drift off down the river until they found someone to show him how to start it. All good in Harris's words, saying, "I got a little bit worried, but it all worked out," with a cheeky smile. He lived life 100 miles an hour, seldom still and in a rush to the next adventure in good time. He will be missed so much by Lucy, his family and friends, and who, like me, find it so hard to accept, but unfortunately we have to. I speak with awe when I think of Harris. He brings a smile to everyone's face. To me, my son, you will be forever young. Thank you, Stephen. Quick word about Harry's in-laws. I once asked Rachel if she could tell me about the first time she'd met Harris, because I always thought that would be an interesting story, and it was. They met at a 50th, and some way or other Harris had managed to make his way next to Rachel, and they were talking, and he had kindly advised her that he'd be taking her daughter out the next night. And Rachel asked, "Does she know this yet?" And Harry just calmly replied, "No, not yet." But here we are. We know the end result. Simon tells me that he did meet Harry at the 50th, and then later on Harry came over to the house, to the family home, and Simon casually mentioned that he had a bit of a plumbing problem. And then the next day, I think it was, Simon rocks up home and here's Harry with the shovel digging a trench. And it was at that time Simon thought, "This is the guy for me." And we all know also for Lucy. Jenny and I would love to thank Simon and Rachel for their care and support and have shown towards our family over the past month, especially the 4 days we spent in Sydney with Harry. At a time of such deep sadness, I want to acknowledge, without going into detail, Lucy couldn't have more love and support from her mum and dad during this difficult time. You're amazing parents, and you'll be part of our family forever. I remember when Harry rang me and told me about Lucy, and he was a bit worried, the big fella, because he might have had one or too many drinks one night, and he thought he might have blown his chances. You all know what I'm talking about. He was a bit of a goose, and he went full H. And anyway, it turns out that everything was good. And then I finally ended up getting to meet Lucy, and I was a bit concerned because she was so quiet. Such a quiet little lady, and Harris is just like bing bang boom all over the room. But they just complemented each other so much. It just worked. It just worked. So Lucy, just know you and Harry will always have a place in our hearts as a beautiful couple who deserve so much more. But for the time you have had together, there'll be a lifetime of memories and laughs. Although the grief is almost unbearable, have comfort in the years to come that you will think back on your time with H, and regardless of where your life takes you, you will smile and cry a tear of gratitude for having this time together. We love you, and you're also part of our family. Jenny. Even though I can boast my relationship with Harry is very special, and many conversations we had will always remain in the vault, he had one other true love other than Lucy, and that was his mum, Jenny. I know Harry's mum reflects about her time over the past couple of months in which she had seen more of H, but Jen, I want to assure you, the love Harry had for you was enormous, everlasting, and a love that only a mum who has given her whole life toward the care of a family gets to enjoy. I know this. Harry could see it, we all could. Don't ever doubt this. In his own way, you, his mum, was also the love of his life. Harry never, and I mean never, shied away from being affectionate towards his mum, either publicly or around friends and family. H would fly across the schoolyard full of kids yelling out some newly anointed name for his mum, up into her arms, and in time standing eye to eye, still wrapping his arms around her during those be careful not to show your affection towards your parents period in life, in primary and high school. He didn't care. He just loved his mum so much. Showing his mum how much he loved her far, far, far outweighed public peer or scrutiny, and that was Harris. That was what our boy's heart was like. We were all blessed to be part of Harry's life, but you, Jem, were his rock. You are blessed to have each other forever. Quick word from Jen. She writes, "The afternoon I held you in my arm against my chest, our bond was unbreakable. Those beautiful bright eyes and long lashes gazing up at me. My sweet boy would run across the playground and jump into my arms without worrying about his peers, and my heart would swell. Harris sang loudly and proudly without hesitation to any genre, including my favourite he'd learned from travelling with Mama and Papa, singing me Gathering in the Mushrooms by Benny Hill, of course. He loved me fiercely, sweetly, unapologetically, and kept tabs on my phone location just to make sure I was safe, reminding me that no matter what the distance, he was never too far away. There was a time when H bought a boat with his cousin Bailey, and they had no licence, by the way. They insisted on going to the river, and the only one that was able to drive them at the time was Jen. So Jen shoots off down the river with them, made sure they had all their baits, their kernels and corn kernels and everything, and it took them about 15 attempts to try and back this bloody boat into the river. And in the end, Bailey and Harris just simply picked it up and walked the back end of the boat around so she could drive straight back down into the water. On overseas trips, devouring copious amounts of fresh pineapple with Declan, swimming, snorkelling, horse riding. They eventually went on to an ATV ride with an instructor who read the room, knowing that they needed a little bit more adventure, and led them off the usual route. Harris did everything to ensure the trip was one to remember. Not so sure if the guide still has a job, because one minute Harris was there, the next minute he was over the embankment and off. And I do believe that she specifically asked him not to do that. She never expected Harris to take off on to the next level of excitement. When Harris came home to Dubbo, there was never a shortage of people waiting for a piece of his time, and somehow he made time for everyone. A round of golf with me, his friends, his brothers, his cousins, visits with Mama, Papa, Nan, Pop, aunties and friends. He was especially proud to be Uncle H to Connor and Tristan's boys, Carter and Hudson, who he carried so much love with. Mama would often say that Hurricane Harris visits, but he'd leave his signature scent wafting, and I mean nicely, Rabon 1 million, is that how you pronounce it? Rabon 1 million. Which is ironic because he is 1 in a million. And no matter how grown he was, never outgrew stretching across my lap for a back tickle. Those bright eyes, those long lashes, and a heart that held genuine love for everyone. Dave and I could not be prouder to travel any distance to stand beside and support our boy and the love of his life, our daughter-in-law Lucy, to share the beautiful life they were building, to see the wonderful people they'd become, surrounded by such genuine friends and family who were loved by so much. I feel deeply honoured to have carried Harris John for 9 precious months, a sacred time when he was mine alone, when I could hold him close without sharing him with the world. That mother-son bond is somehow eternal. It's in the quiet sixth sense, the unspoken understanding, the instinctive pull that tells me our hearts will always recognise one another no matter what. Today yields an unbearable heartbreak alongside immense pride. Harris is fully loved deeply, asked questions boldly, laughed loudly, and left a lasting mark on every one of us with his infectious smile. Oversharing? Never. Oversharing, a random phone call, texts, FaceTime, chats, calls. Every day I wondered how I meant to accept having so little time with my son I love so completely, who loved me no matter his journey and his priority. It will never feel like enough. But what a beautiful, extraordinary 25 years they were, and what a privilege it was to be his mum. My beautiful boy forever and forever ours. And finally, a few words I'd like to share. There's such great sadness and grief that we have lost Harry so young, but I want you all to think about the full life that he lived in his short 25 years, more than most people that live 50 would have lived. The love and happiness Harry shared with us all will be forever with us. The stories in years to come at weddings, parties, barbecues, and even backyard barbecue banter will bring a smile to your face and a tear to your eye, and that is a good thing. Honour his memory as often as you can. That way he will live on in with all of us. The Harry H. Haroldinsky, Hazzy, Harold and Harris is part of legend and in time folklore to our children and friends, because let's face it, he was kind of a big deal. I tied Harry's first school tie when he was a little boy, and I tied Harry's first formal tie when he was a young lad. It's this tie. It's my beautiful honour, absolute honour, to tie together how we all feel about Harry on this very sad but special occasion. Losing Harry has broken our hearts but not broken our love. He will always be remembered, and this gives us enormous comfort. To you all, just remember, it's okay to cry, it's okay to laugh, it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to grieve. Sometimes in life there are no answers for our loss. Surround each other with support and love. Honour Harry's memory, as I know you all will, and never forget to tell your loved ones that you love them as often as you can, because Harry told us all the time, followed by a big bear hug. You will always be the light of our lives, Harry. Thank you for being there for us. We love you. Until we meet again, farewell, my boy.
Thank you, Dave, for sharing those wonderful chapters of Harry's life. Now, on behalf of Harry's loving partner, Lucy, I'd like to read her words, her love letter to Harry. To my dearest, darling, Hassie boy. None of this feels real. It feels like a bad dream, where I'll wake up and you'll be there right next to me, giving me a big bear hug, with your legs swung over me, kissing me, while you stroke my face and tell me everything is okay. Go back to sleep. I love you so much. But I haven't yet woke up, and everyone keeps telling me it's not a dream. Before I met you, I'd already heard plenty of stories about you. I'd even slept in your filthy swag I'd lay there cringing at the smell of dirty pig, wet dog and stale beer, wondering who you actually were and if you were much of a menace as everyone had said. We finally met for the first time at the Dell for Cora's birthday. You were standing at the door when I walked in, with a big cheeky smile, the smile I soon fell in love with. You introduced yourself, gave me a hug, and you bought me a drink. It only took a few minutes for me to realise you lived up to everyone's hype and confirmed that you were in fact a menace. But as cliche as this sounds, I knew you were something special. In the next few weeks we became besties. We would have sleepovers at Cinder and Corey's house. We'd lay awake at all hours in the morning talking about anything and everything. And I soon realised that no conversation is off limits to you. During these moments you made me feel safe, comfortable, respected, and a new feeling that I had never felt. And in the coming weeks, I soon realised that new feeling was love. At one of these sleepovers, and in good old hazy fashion, you said 5 magic words, and that's where our love story began. There are no words to describe you as, other than one of a kind. There really is only one Hazzy. You light up every single room that you walk into. Your personality is infectious and you really can't smile around you. You are still full of life and you radiate positivity. You make everyone around you laugh with your sense of humour and your ability to say something rogue or inappropriate at all the right and wrong times. You and your personality never changes to anyone or any setting. Even after talking to from Demo and already a few words from Coops, you are already just you, and that is one of the many things I love most about you. No one has ever had a bad word to say about you, except for maybe half of Manila. You are so loved by everyone around you, our families, our friends, your work colleagues, anyone that got the pleasure of knowing you, and of course me. You are affectionate, thoughtful, caring. You show me love in all the love languages possible, especially physical touch and words of affirmations. You always support me and look after me, particularly when we first moved to both Mildura and Manila, when in your words, you were the breadwinner and I was the trad wife. You go out of your way to do anything for me, even when I am just being lazy. You are there to just do it. Sometimes I definitely took advantage of it. You have my back through everything and you are always on my side when there's something I will always be grateful for. You believe in me, hype me up, always make me feel the prettiest girl in the room. You gossip with me, let me whinge about anything, and you also aren't shy of giving me a reality check and telling me what I need to hear. You're smart and annoyingly really do know just about everything. For any question that I have, you can answer it. For any task that is too consuming, you can solve it. They say there's no such thing as perfect, yet our love exists. The only thing we ever fight about is what audio book we listen to while we sleep, and our biggest worry is your receding hairline. We love each other hard and deep and show our love both loudly and quietly. Our life together is full of laughter, wild adventures, spontaneity and fun. But we are just as content in the simple moments, just simply existing with each other. Every day with you is something special, and that's what makes life with you so special. You really are the best partner I could have wished for and always make me feel like the luckiest girl alive. You bring me so much joy, happiness, and give me butterflies every single day. There isn't a person I love in this world more than you. I love everything about you. Even the things that drive me mad, they just make me love you even more. I would do anything to hear you pronounce an S with a whistle and see a half-unpacked dishwasher one more time. There is no one else I would have moved around the countryside with but you, where we experienced some of our happiest moments, both stepping out of our comfort zones to meet new people, explore new places, and grow both individually and as a couple. No matter where we were or what life looked like, we were happy, because as long as we had each other, we had everything we needed. I'll forever cherish our time together, particularly our last week together that was coincidentally filled with all things you love to do together. Country music festival, pigging, Xbox, movie nights, sleep-ins, building a dog kennel, celebrating our anniversary with a game of golf, and spending time with our fur babies. We really were living the dream, had our life planned out, and my God, was it perfect. We were both so proud of each other working our dream careers in Manila. Eventually, we were going to move in between Manila and Tamworth so I could continue teaching in Manila and you could pursue your dream of being in the dog squad in Tamworth. The next stage of our life was meant to involve you proposing to me. And just after Christmas, I accidentally saw that photo in your camera roll. I was over the moon and wanted nothing more to be your wife. So just know that in every life, it will always be the biggest yes. Next, it would have been our wedding. Our wedding was going to be so unconventional. At the De Bonos, they would have had a heart attack. But it was going to be us, my bridesmaids. They were going to be Charlie, Daisy and Blair. Your groomsmen were Connor, Kyle, and it was a weekly dinner conversation who your third was going to be out of Nick, Jake, Luke, Jake, Bailey and Declan. Throw in a Jack there, I said it twice, sorry, Jack and Jake. Nan and Pop and Mama and Papa were going to be our witnesses. And we were going to do a speech about how much their love inspired us and influenced our love. Our entrance song was going to be I Touch Myself, Lime Cordial's version, and Dad was going to sing A Chandelier of Stars by John Williamson, as we danced together as husband and wife for the very first time. It was going to be a big party celebrating our love with the people who love us most. Then we were going to have our kids. Our first child, her name was going to be Poppy Joy Landgraf. She was going to have your big, beautiful eyes and eyelashes, but she was going to have my eye colour. You wanted her to have my smile, but I wanted her to have yours. Then we were going to have our son and one more. You were beyond excited about having children, and our face would light up with joy at any conversation about being a dad, and you really were going to be the best dad this world had ever seen. We were going to live happily ever after, a long life of love and happiness, where we would spoil the grandchildren and tear up the golf compass retirees. You would be completely bald, and I'd still think you're just as sexy as the first day I met you, and I'd worry about you drinking too much beer, and you'd tell me that I worry too much. We truly are the love of each other's lives, and I cannot put into words how much I love you, miss you, and how much my heart physically breaks that we will never get this life together. I promise that in our life together next, I will buy you all the bread your heart desires, make sure you have an endless supply of clean undies, never ever buy light cream, and tickle your back every second, every day. Life without you is impossible to comprehend, Has, but thank you, my love, for giving me the world and choosing me to love. I love you with my whole heart and more, and will never stop loving you. I suppose this is the part where most people would say, rest in peace. However, rest and peace do not exist in your vocabulary. So keep living in the chaos that we all know and we love you for. Goodbye for now, my cute, sexy, gorgeous, pretty, handsome, adorable, beautiful Hassie boy. P.S. Give our angel girls Quinn and Sally a big hug and kiss from me. They'll be waiting for a big golly from their daddy. Love always, your dearest, darling Lulu. I'd now like to introduce Sergeant John Lees. He's going to share a memory.
Constable Renae LANDGRAF joined the New South Wales Police on the 9th of December 2022 as part of Academy Class 356. He was allocated his first station of Derton, where I had the pleasure of being his sergeant and the work of being his sergeant too. The station has had many big personalities, many important people, even commissioners have come out there, but no one's walked through the doors with the presence and confidence of a young probationary constable, Renae LANDGRAF. He progressed extremely well through his time and became a confirmed constable. In 2025, he applied for the position of lock-up keeper out at Manila, just north of Tamworth, where he continued his amazing work and completed 3 years of service. He did start to like his new sergeant a bit more than me, and I was a bit jealous of that. But he was having a really good time out there. Now, 3 years may not sound like a long time in the police, and it isn't, but Harris achieved more in 3 years than others would in 40, just like his life. He lived every day, and he worked really hard out at Derton. He's jumped on the side of moving cars and ripped keys out of the ignition on more than one occasion, which most people shouldn't do, but he did extremely well. He's tasered armed offenders with knives who have tried to attack him and his partners, and will refer to himself as their hero from here on out. Many foot pursuits, many car pursuits, just the fun that was Harry. He enjoyed hunting, and that's how he treated work. And went toe to toe with the biggest criminal in town, which I couldn't be prouder of, to be honest. He did very well. His impact on everyone was immediate. His love for life, endless energy and questionable sense of humour was very well received. We still talk a lot about Harry. Even when he moved to Manila, we talk about him about every day in Derton, whether it's funny stories or great jobs that he's done. And when you try to describe Harris, as everyone here would know, knowing him, it's impossible. Like, he's the most unique person. And if someone ever says they know someone just like Harris, you need to disagree with them very, very quickly. He was a walking contradiction in a very good way. He had confidence that borderlined arrogance, but he coupled that with self-doubt, self-awareness that he could do better, and a willingness to learn, and insecurity about his hairline. He could do the most silly, ridiculous thing at work, but then he would show his extreme intellect through his investigations, and quick decision making was second to none. He never took life too serious and was always laughing, and sometimes unprofessional, but when the job got serious, there was no one else you wanted to see by your side. He was that person for so many of us. And these are all things that we loved about him out there. But the overwhelming thing about Harris, and I think the thing that we all loved about him most, and the overwhelming thing that everyone tells me about Harris when I ask, is that he was just genuinely a good person. If you told him you had some work to do at your house, he would offer to come over. If you said it was a plumbing job, he'd be there in 5 minutes. And if you asked him for help, he'd be there in 3. The example I have for this is that when I went to Sydney on a course, and my partner was at home with my son in Mildura in Victoria, where we were living. And Harry was about 5 minutes down the road. It was about 1 in the morning and my partner called me and said, someone's breaking into the house. It was the easiest decision I've ever made. When I said, call the police, I'm calling Harry. And he was there in 3 minutes from the phone call, which is a worry. And I do question why the Victorian police didn't arrest the half-dressed, half-awake man jumping over my fence. But he was there for me, and I didn't deserve a friend like that. None of us did. Just to show how good he was as a cop as well, I'm going to read the email I sent him when he transferred to Manila. And I'm not unique in the way that he affected me. He was this person for so many people. Anyway, Big Haz. Mate, I just want to wish you the best of luck in your new role. I know you'll do amazing out there and have a great time. As this is my 15th year in the cops, I've seen a lot of good cops and many terrible ones. But when the really good ones go, and the ones who impact me, I send an email as a farewell. Only a few have got one, so count yourself lucky and don't reply because it's sappy. Anyway, firstly, a bit of advice. Stop being hard on yourself. You're a smart man, a logical thinker. You make great decisions and your problem solving is a level that I haven't even reached yet. Because of this, you'll go as far as you want to in this job and you will achieve whatever you want to achieve. You will be a brilliant detective, sergeant, inspector, super and beyond if you so desire. The thing I've learned about this career that there are good cops in all shapes and sizes. There are good cops that are arrogant, good cops that are humble, good cops that are smart and good cops that are not so smart. For this reason, don't try and be anything but Harris and you'll do absolutely brilliantly. Another thing I always say is don't forget to pat yourself on the back. I know you receive the highest amount of shout outs from the boss out here at Barrier, but as you know, the best jobs can go completely unnoticed. So make sure that you recognise your own good work and enjoy it. And if you get into any wrestles, email me the event number so I can watch the video. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and I'm gutted we didn't get more shifts together before your transfer. You're one of the best blokes to ever work in this place and have been so reliable as a cop and as a mate. When I was in Sydney and Taylor called saying someone was breaking in, you were the first person on my mind to get there and protect my family. So I hope you know how much that means to me and how grateful I am. Got me. I appreciate everything you've done. I can't wait to see how much you achieve in this job and in life, and I'm sure I'll see you in the near future. But until then, I'm always here for a chat, and if you need help with anything at all, thanks for the memories. I'll finish up there, but I just wanted to say to Harry's family and his friends growing up, just thank you. As I said earlier, he had an endless amount of energy as an adult, so I can make an assumption that he was a challenging child, but you could not have done better with him. He was just a great man, a great police officer too. To Lucy, you have all of our love, and we're always going to be here for you when you need us and if you want us, and that goes forever. And finally, to Harris, we'll see you later, mate. Thank you for the memories, thank you for your friendship, and thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thanks, John, for sharing those beautiful, heartfelt memories, a tribute from your heart. And now, someone very special, Superintendent David Cooper, who will share condolences on behalf of the New South Wales Police Force and acknowledging Harry's police service.
Firstly, well done, Lizzie. That was amazing, mate. That was really, really good. Constable Harris John Landgraf, registered number 57632, a member of the New South Wales Police Force from the 9th of December 2022 to the 28th of January 2026. Constable Harris Landgraf served the community of New South Wales as a member of the New South Wales Police Force with commitment and dedication until his untimely death on the 28th of January 2026. May I start by acknowledging Harris's parents, Steve Landgraf and Jenny and Dave Honeysett, and can I acknowledge Harris's beautiful partner in life, Lucy. To you all, my heartfelt condolences and sympathy. Harris attested from the New South Wales Police Academy and was posted to the Barrier Police District at Derton Police Station. He remained there until his transfer to Oxley Police District as lockup keeper at Manila in August of 2025. And as the former commander of the Barrier and now the commander of the Oxley Police District, I had the good fortune to be Harris's commander for his entire career. Put simply, Harris was infectious. Those that met him were immediately drawn to him. He was part of everyone's family and he was everyone's mate. That goofy smile got him over the line and out of trouble every single time. He wore his uniform with pride and professionalism, but he also had that sharp edge, like wearing his cap backwards if the need arose. His passing has had a profound impact across the New South Wales Police Force, and particularly Derton Police Station and the Oxley Police District, and more broadly, the New South Wales Police legacy family and his very wide circle of friends. To Harris's parents, family, friends and colleagues, it is with profound sorrow that I, on behalf of the New South Wales Police Force and the people of New South Wales, extend my deepest sympathy on the loss of Harris. Harris served the community of New South Wales with pride and honour, embodying all the positive attributes of the New South Wales Police Force. May you rest in peace.
Thank you, Superintendent Cooper. Now a special reading with such meaningful words is going to be read by Kyle Peacock, simply called You.
If every single person who has liked you in your lifetime were to light up on a map, it would create the most glitteringly beautiful network you could imagine. Throw in the strangers you've been kind to, the people you've made laugh or inspired along the way, and that star-bright web of you would be an impressive sight to behold. You're so much more than you think you are. You have done so much more than you realise. You're trailing a bright pathway you don't even know about. What a thing indeed.
Thanks, Kyle. We know how difficult that would have been. The family now have created a photo presentation, and that's going to allow us to share memories of Harry. So please enjoy.
Touching hand, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, your time never seemed so good. I've been inclined to be touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Good times never seem so good. I'm inclined to believe they never Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they never could.
All the killers think I'm handsome. Their fathers think I'm mad. Their mothers think I'm a villain. But I'm just a lovable lad. I'm loved by the poor and the wealthy. Loved by the good and the bad. Loved by the fat and the skinny. Because I'm a lovable lad. Now I've been chased by fathers with shotguns of all kinds, and you can tell where they have aimed by the marks that's left behind. I don't know why they do it, 'cause I'm not really bad. I just chase their daughters because I'm a lovable lad. It's a dangerous game I'm playing. You've got to be quick to laugh. When you're at the wrong end of a shotgun, you run quick or cop the full blast. You'll never see me linger where there are sour old tarts. And you can tell where I have been by the trail of broken parts. So parents, do take warning and heed what I say. Keep your daughters out of sight when I come round your way. For they say I'm just like Casanova. I drink, I smoke, I swear. They say I'm the sheik of Scrubby Creek, but I don't care.
Some wonderful memories and the photos now that are going to be treasures to keep. Now I realised a lot of people could not see the video. We'll be staying here for the wake, so when you feel free, come, they'll just put it on repeat and you'll be able to see the photos as well. Myself, being a police wife for over 35 years, I have an understanding of what it takes to be on the job. I'd like to now to share my tribute poem to Harry that I've called The Man in Blue. Young, driven, already 3 years into wearing blue. And let's be honest, he wore that uniform well. He was proud to be a police officer, and he should have been. Because behind the badge wasn't just the man you call the man in blue. He was just a man like you. One who did what many fear to do, and the man you bring your troubles to. Harry showed courage, commitment, and a quiet confidence. He served with pride, he stood tall in his role, and he left a mark far bigger than his years. The uniform mattered, but the man inside it mattered even more, and he always will. As we now prepare to escort Harry from this place, we do so with heavy hearts, but also with deep respect and gratitude for a life that did matter. To Harry's loved ones, thank you for sharing him with our world. Your love, your strength, and your quiet dignity today speaks volumes of the young man that he was and the legacy that he leaves behind. May you feel wrapped in the support of those gathered here and comforted by the many lives that Harry touched. To the friends, to colleagues, thank you for standing with the family today. Your presence reflects the esteem in which Harry was held, not only as a colleague, but as a mate and someone who could always be relied upon. We also acknowledge the Police Honour Guard. This tribute is a powerful symbol of respect, service and brotherhood. It recognises Harry's dedication and his commitment and the values that he upheld throughout his working life. It is an honour afforded to few, but it is fitting today. Harry will now be escorted by pallbearers to his cremation, and we do so with gratitude for his life. On behalf of Harry's family, thank you for your support and your kindness, for being here today. It is deeply appreciated. Pallbearers, Police Guard of Honour will now assemble. And in true Harry's style, you're going to listen to a song to escort him. I Milk Cows.
I drive tractors, I fix pumps, I plow dirt, I run stock, life's good, I thank God. Well, there's a shed out the back with a bench and a vice, a motor pulled down an irrigation pipes. When the pump won't pump, you strip it all down, the thing won't go, you figure it out. I milk cows, I grow spots, I drive tractors, I fix pumps, I plow dirt, I run stock, life's good, I thank God, yeah. Well, I'm up for the dawn, I'm off to the shed, the herd comes in about 100 head. Well, they're all my mates, I call